I'm Duan Asemota, again, your 2023 Canadian National Track and Field Tour champion, and we're going to review some of the races from the tour. So we're going to start off with the 100-meter final from the Edmonton Invitational. It's a big meet. Okay, so the first thing was the weather this day was absolutely insane. It was raining, it was windy. I don't think there was too much of a big crowd turnout because of this. And yeah, it was just some crazy conditions to go in the race. A lot of the guys in the field we had they dropped out, but I was still ready and locked in and ready to execute the race.
What were your thoughts going into the final?
So I'm just literally setting my blocks right now. I'm trying to get in my zone, make sure I remember everything on my cues, hitting quick arm, getting the right angles and coming out. But right now I'm just trying to react with my first motion with my arm very quick. So yeah, this race I for sure messed up my start and my angles completely. I rushed my transition phase, came up way too fast, and at this point I'm like leaning back in all types of other positions. So this wasn't my best race at all, but that's okay because, at the end of the day in sports, you're not going to be your best every single day. But I learned a lot from this race, and I definitely gave credit to people who were able to perform in any type of conditions there were. Okay, yeah, this is the semifinals of the Royal City Inferno meet. This is the meet I won the tour with. This is where I ran my PR now of 10:13. So let's get into this one. So yeah, coming into this race, it's always great competing in Canada. This was my first meet back in Canada, and I really wanted to make a good impression on the tour. And this is a meet I've always done poor at in the past. So when I came to this one, I definitely was not trying to lose, and I definitely wanted to, win the whole meet. And I really wanted to focus on getting a good start this race because my coach challenged me before that I can go out there and start. And you see before the race, I'm already having my emotion. I'm already pumped up. I'm ready to go. Same thing, quick prayer in the blocks. All I'm thinking about here is just have a quick arm, keep my angles nice and tight, and just get down the track and be patient. So I'm just loading up in my blocks right now, loading up the front foot and the back foot. Took a quick peek of where I'm trying to go. Yeah. As soon as I took that first step, I already knew I was gone from my reaction and the way I held my angles. Now, this part, everyone knows it's over when it comes down to the last 40 minutes of the race and I'm ahead. So I was able to get away from this. I know everyone's probably wondering why I do like the walk back, but the truth is behind the walk back is just that I don't really like sticking around after the race, especially when I have another one. So I'd rather just put my energy into getting back and getting back to my cool down, getting back to my coach and just starting off the recovery process. So yeah, like I said, great race, great start, smooth transition. Could have been a little bit smoother, but in my top end position, very aggressive. And I think within the last 5, I probably could have added a little bit more. I took some off the gas. So yeah, this is the race that won me the Canadian National Track and Field Tour in the 100-meter. Shout out to fxcanada.tv. You can catch all the videos on there, all of them. That's where I can have my training diaries. I can get better by reviewing all my films. So athletes, check it out too. Go review all your races. Studying is important. Okay, so this next race is the final of the Royal City Inferno Tour 2023. I want to give a big shout out to Jason Kerr for putting on a great meet year after year. I encourage everybody to come out to this meet because it's a lot of fun. And they take good care of you, put you in a nice hotel. So yeah, before this final, like I said, I won't even lie, I'll be honest. It was like really personal for me. I really wanted to win this one. I think that in track and field, you have moments and times where you feel as if it's your time. And I just feel like it was my time and I really wanted to just take over the whole entire thing. But it was a great field of guys. I think there was like 4 Olympians in this race. I was the only one who wasn't. So I was really excited for this one. So yeah, this point of the race right here, I'm just sitting down and I'm just like in the bullpen, just like anybody else waiting to unleash, obviously, all the energy I have, all the frustration I have of losing over the past couple of years and really bring it towards this meet because it was my first meet in Canada. Okay, so I'm on the line. I think people see me on the track. Everyone knows I'm business as usual, straight face. I don't really like to smile. I don't really joke around. And that's just because at the end of the day, I'm here to handle business. So you see if I can get to the start of the race. So yeah, right now I'm on the start line. I'm just looking straight down the track. I'm just thinking about all the stuff I want to do. In my head, I'm kind of talking to myself, kind of crazy like that in a sense, like just talking to myself, kind of pumping myself up. And I know what I wanted to do in this race. But from what the looks of it, everybody looked nervous. It was at this point of the year, it was a really big race. It was the chance for all of us to kind of line up in Canada. And we all knew that a lot of people from this race were going to end up in the final. So we start the race. I'm just trying to relax at this point. Again, quick prayer. In the blocks, same thing, load up the legs. I also wore the arm sleeve too. It was a gift from my coach Tony from Speed Academy. And it's another cue I keep myself in my back pocket to help myself get a good start. Yeah, and then the official was telling me to move my hand for the race. So that was like a little bit annoying, but not really. Yeah, so my start was not bad. Where I lost this race was the third 10 of the race by not pushing my transition. But credit to Itakiri, he's consistent as always, and he pulled away from me in the last 30 meters. Because at this point of sprinting we're at, when you make mistakes against people who don't make mistakes, they can really pull away from you in the end. So that's exactly what happened here. And all the props to him. I definitely did not take this loss well because it was my first loss of the whole entire year. And yeah, it was a good learning lesson for me to have. I think that races like this really shaped up how I was able to compete at the end of the season. So this is the LA Classique in Montreal, the prelims. Fun fact, I'm actually born in Montreal. My French is not too great, but I do claim Montreal as my native place of birth. So yeah, coming into this meet, I won't lie, it wasn't the same level of preparation I had for other meets. I think that I was focused on the Edmonton tour a little bit after. And coming into this race, I really was just trying to like win, which we'll find out right now. It's not always the best plan of success. You should always be consistent and thorough in your preparation, your execution, and that will always lead to great things. So this is the prelims. I actually felt like I didn't start that well. My coach might disagree. I didn't have much of a transition phase. I started running, which is why everything took so long to come to the end. But I was able to get him at the line, which I don't think he was happy about. But yeah, I call this lazy running to me because I already know I can run people down. I always try to put effort into the front end part of my race and try to make the race very balanced from start to finish. So I wasn't too particularly happy with this race. I definitely think in looking at the replay again, the angles coming out the blocks could have been better and the transition could have been more patient and a little bit more apparent because it doesn't look like it's much there. So that's this race. So this is the Jerome Classic. This is another great meet on the tour. Great history. A lot of great athletes have been at this meet. It's going to be back in Vancouver again this year. I definitely encourage everybody, all the fans, come out and watch it. It's a great meet. So coming into this meet, it was like we were at this point. I think I was roughly around 2-3 weeks away from nationals, and I really wanted to come to this meet because I wanted to be on the track that nationals is going to be on, heading into nationals, just to make myself feel more comfortable with just the city, what I was going to eat, the track, the warm-up area, just everything that I needed to get acquainted with. So when I came back in 2 weeks, I was ready. Unfortunately, during this meet, I was dealing with a little bit of like hamstring, back pain. So coming in, I really just wanted to make sure I had a clean race and just got out clean and got ready for nationals. On the line right now, same thing, just trying to stay composed, trying to stay focused, remember all those things that I have written down in my race model that I try to execute. For the line, I always like being the last one to get in the blocks because everyone takes forever. So I'm always going to be the one hanging back, waiting for the last person to get down, because when you're down there and it's forever. It's just, it feels like an eternity. So same thing, loading up the blocks. It's actually a good shot to have me there. Yeah, start was pretty good on this one. But then I just popped up. I didn't finish my transition phase. Everything was rushed. And with everything being rushed, I wasn't able to get to the right position that I needed to get to. And like I said, you make mistakes, people pull away from you, you always pay for it. So after this race, I chose not to run the final because I felt as if like where I was trying to be in a couple of weeks could have been compromised with maybe trying to get more, go for more right now. So I ran this, I think this race I ran 10:22. Props to Chris Royster for coming in from the States and winning the race. Great competitor. And I just kind of rolled with the punches and moved on for this one. But I definitely think there was great things to learn about this race because at the same time, I love running with people who are either have faster times than me or races I have to work because it shows me where I'm really at. Like, I think when you race people and they're not, like there's a time gap, you can kind of get away with certain things that you can't get away with when you race people who are on your level. So, yeah.